So I would like the speakers' first round of maybe 5 minutes describing how they have worked or how they work on working on this topic of access and connectivity on mountain and hilly regions, what has been the main barriers that they have seen, and what are the solutions that they have put into place, right? So I'm going to go by the order of that appears on the program, starting by, I believe, Mr. Jairam, the marketing head and senior director for enterprise business for Hughes Communications in India.
Sure. Just a brief introduction. I am Jairam. I represent Hughes Communications India Limited. We are a satellite service provider. Satellite is in our DNA, and we have been here for almost 30 years in India. This question is apt because satellite tend to be the solution or the only solution in many times for those unconnected areas, or as we call them, tough terrains, mountainous, I would say areas where hilly regions, whatever you want to call it. So we have tremendous experience in providing or enabling those communities, those geographies, those users in that area, whether it's a consumer or it's a telco or a government office or a army outpost. I mean, I can go on and on. We have tremendous experience in enabling them with high-speed broadband. And in fact, I was listening to Hasina when she talked about her challenge. That can be solvable. We work in those areas. Quite a lot. Maybe it's our fault that people don't know much about it, and we need to jointly rectify that. Coming back to the topic, what we feel is, while we are coming out with different models, new technologies, new type of capacities which are low cost and which will enable the adoption by individuals and even businesses, the main challenge, again, I'll go back to the sustainability. This was discussed earlier also. Power, lack of power for that matter, because we can bring in this technology, satellite is feasible anywhere, but if you don't have power to operate it, what will you do? Many places where we are deployed, you get 1 or 2 hours power in a day. So we need to look at a solution, maybe a solar power, which is being deployed more and more as a standard, I would say, deliverable along with these alternate technologies, including satellite. That is one. Second is definitely access to those sites. It's extremely, extremely difficult. We have done a project partnering BBNL, Bharat Broadband, wherein we deployed high-speed satellite broadband, 10 Mbps and above, in 5,500 villages in India. And I think 80% of it would be in Northeast, and a majority would be in Arunachal. Now, we had our engineers walking for days to reach many of those locations, and carrying that antenna, which is around 100 plus kg. There are 2-3 people carrying turns, and it's such tough terrains. Now, of course, forget fiber. Fiber cannot ever reach there, but you need accessibility also to reach the places, because all this leads to 2 things. The TCO goes up. Like, for example, today, in many places that we are deploying, the cost of freight and installation is more than the cost of the equipment itself. So that is something which we need to do because it's beyond our capability. But as a solution, the entire community, and it has to be done at the ground level, as you mentioned, Hasina. Absolutely right. Because you who are there on the ground would know better, the best, rather than us sitting far away place, or even a regulator may not know this. Because there are ground realities we have to accept and respect. So, at this point, I will stick to this because I know time is limited. And as we move forward, I will definitely talk more about how we can do better.
The next one is Michael Ginguld. He's the co-founder, director strategy and operations for AirJaldi. Michael, the floor is yours, and the question is very much the same. Thank you.
Hi, Carlos. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, great. So basically, I represent AirJaldi. AirJaldi is a Class A internet service provider focusing on rural areas. And we have been working in mountainous areas for pretty much all of the years of our existence, starting in 2009. When I'm thinking of mountainous areas and the challenges, I'm thinking of really 4 S's, if you will. Connectivity needs to fulfill, in our opinion and experience, 4 conditions. One is it needs to be sound, as in technically sound. It needs to be a high-speed connectivity, as pointed out earlier. It needs to be stable. And the 4th thing, I'll use a Hindi term, it needs to be Shrestha, it needs to be cheap. Or at least that's what the customers want. Let's try and look at each one of these 4 in the context of rural connectivity in mountainous areas. To create sound connectivity, it's a function of, first of all, the technology that you're using. As an internet service provider, we use wireless and wired technology. Mountainous areas tend to be ones where wireless connectivity works a little better. But whether it's fiber or wireless, proper planning is an extremely important part of building any network. It's not a question of just going out, plunking a relay and connecting customers. It's a question of planning it in a way that A, is sound, B, is economically sound, and C, reaches actual clients. Otherwise, you're throwing money and supporting relays that may not give you what you need. And what you need is economic sustainability, and I'll get to that. So proper planning. Speed and stabilities. Again, the days of low bandwidth are pretty much behind us in India. And this is not similar to many other developing countries. We can no longer sell connectivity below 10 Mbps to a customer. Nobody in India will buy this. 20 and above is mostly what we do, even in wireless. So this means you need to budget your link properly. In other words, is your backhaul big enough to support these speeds for each client that you connect? If it isn't, you are setting yourself for failure and you're setting your customer for frustrations. The second thing with bandwidth is you need to build redundancies. Mountainous areas have serious problems of network breakdowns. Redundancies are alternative paths. You can create alternative wireless paths. You can create a wireless and a wired. These are choices that you need to make. The 4th point is the most difficult one. Remember, I spoke about Shrestha, about links being cheap. And this is where we are facing a problem in India. The prices now in India are at rock bottom. There is no way that we will go below the prevailing prices in the market right now. As a matter of fact, the market is in a below optimum clearance point. It means that we're selling bandwidth cheaper than we should be doing it. So the only way forward in terms of affordability would either be to find additional sources that can support connectivity, selling value-added services, having connectivity subsidized by one body or the other, and what have you, or the prices will need to go up. I think in terms of affordability in India, we've reached pretty much with the existing technology and the prevailing prices in the market, the lowest point that we've reached. So just to summarize, 4 things one needs to look at in mountainous areas as in other places. Sound connectivity, stable connectivity, high speed, and affordable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Really insightful and, very structured 4 points that are very easy to remember and also comes from many, many years of experience. Bikram is the president of the Nepal Internet Foundation. please tell us about your experience.
Thank you very much for this 7th Community Network Exchange organizer team to provide this platform to showcase every community network here. So it's not easy. It's not easy. You can see the video, but it's not easy to reach there. To reach Khundey and Khumjung itself is walking by 2 weeks. So we reached there by different from Jiri to Lukla is 2 or 3 days work, right? And then you have to go to the Namche, and Namche to up. The Namche is the gateway to the this Everest base camp and Everest summit. But this Khundey and Khumjung is a shadow valley. It's twin valley, and it's called as a green roof. So this valley we identify. First of all, we identify this valley because of one of my friend. He was the local guy, Sherpa guy from itself. His name is Chepal Dorje Sherpa, and with the help of, with the support from the Sherpa's community, we are able to connect. We are able to set up this Everest community network in the Khundey and Khumjung itself. And it's very nearby base camp. It's only 32 kilometers. So you can see that the views, landscape of the Khundey and Khumjung nearby the mountains. You can see easily the Amadabla mountains and other range of mountains from that place. So not only the journey is still going on. So as I said that I started my startup ISP when I was just 19 years old, and it's almost 2 decades I have been contributing to the society, and I have different hats. I also contribute to the EPNIC. In EPNIC, in Corporation SIC, co-chair. I'm elected co-chair for the Corporation SIC. And in ICANN also, I have been contributing in the Internet Corporation for Name and Numbers in NPOC, not-for-profit constituency. In Nepal, there is lots of places that still there is unconnected. So we are working on, not from the government side, but thanks to the Internet Society and ICANN and Digital Empowerment Foundation. So they provide us this platform to showcase our this project, what we had did. But not only this, but we are working on other areas also in that region. And we have been working for the telemedicine, and we have been working for the capacity building program. And we are started one project that is homestay kind of, startup homestay. So that's how the people who is traveling to the mountain areas, and they can see the culture and traditional of the Sherpas, and that's how we started this Voice of Sherpas, the podcast. So it's still going on. So I stop for now. If there is any questions, I mean, in other we will discuss later. Thank you. Over to Carlos.
Thank you. So without further ado, moving on to Hasina, who also was in the prior session. So no further introduction. Hasina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carlos. So I represent a non-profit organization, which I founded when I was 17 years old from Shillong, when I was just out of high school, which is called Impulse NGO Network. Do follow our pages to get more updates on what we do. We concentrate on working on migration, people on the move, and providing solutions for the last 15 years through technology platform, so that stakeholder like the law enforcement is able to resolve cross-border crime, data management, or centralized data management so that we are aware on the gravity of the problems of human trafficking. That has been the major part of our work. Our representation in every state is through shared leadership, where we have leaders who are representing us through their institutions and nonprofits who have journeyed with us more than 15, 16 years in each state of the Northeast of India. In 2013, we got the World Innovation Prize, where we developed this technology platform to IIT Guwahati in bringing the centralized data management, working with Ministry of Home Affairs, and ensuring that how law enforcement can be more efficient in having data, communicating that data, faster data management, which I think in my earlier session I've shared the challenge of internet connectivity from the nook and corners, of the region in the Eastern Himalayan belt. We have scaled to Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and we are operating from Thailand as well, where it's the regional office of ours at the moment, which actually is in the progress of looking at Southeast Asia because we have international borders. In the journey of addressing unsafe migration, we envisage that the solution of addressing women who are vulnerable can only happen if we create economic upliftment. So creating upliftment of economics, we took forward working with indigenous women who are actually from the different tribes in the 8 northeastern state of India, using sustainable textile as a mode of ensuring the upliftment of economic and giving them, resources where they can choose not to migrate unsafely. In the pursuit of that, we again introduce technology as a way to resilience market. So in the journey of resilience market, we had practically got the women to weave through a centralized data management, centralized raw material distribution, and working with designers to bring forward storytelling of the Northeast. COVID-19 taught us that many of these women had to be connected through, internet. And we did many trials in 3 years and realized that connectivity is still the biggest challenge of the many population of the region. We use an innovative method of bringing women to one centralized unit, and that will be in a community open air. And then we would bring, like a kind of an internet hotspot so that everybody could be connected, so that they're able to communicate with the designers, with the textile designers, product designers, so that they're being able to get the capacity, to be engaged in a consistent manner. And that is one challenge that we have not overcome. And I think what you just mentioned is something we could work together and co-create, because if these women get better connectivity, then we don't have to make them to travel at, like days and weeks, to come to different places, because the cost of sending, trainers to every nook and corner in the longer version is never sustainable. So that is something that we need to make the last mile met. The other part is that we also start to engage the e-commerce, and there we find a challenge again. So recently, from 2013, our collaboration with Meta, especially in creating, using social media like Facebook, Instagram, as the page where these women, small businesses in the Northeast, can actually reach to market the product they're producing. Because then that way, they are actually reducing the cost, because they don't have to create an e-commerce site of their own. They don't have to depend on the middle agencies or individuals, who are actually going to charge so much of money to help them sell the product. So we are saying that we have this largest social media platform. You're using it to connect with your friends. Let's use this from the business context. And we started giving trainings on the Meta Business Academy, which is a certified courses that has simplified to somebody who is a rural woman and still managing to make the best reel, the best photographs, the best, uploads, and how they should sell the product. There, again, the moment we go from the main headquarters to the second and the third, by the time we reach the third layers of a district of a state, then we realize that the connectivity takes a huge amount of time for them to upload things or to get the certified courses. But we did not want to be left behind, so we decided to train our team and our partners from each state so that they could go to the nook and corner, partner with the state government, and whether it's an SIRD or others, and call all these women to units, to decentralized unit. So that is where we are trying to meet the last mile. But this is not sustainable, So we are looking at more collaborative effort to meet the gaps that we have been facing, so that while they're using the social media platform to connect to the world, to sell the products, all these women and young people who are starting the businesses will not have to be going a miles away to connect on the internet to sell a product or to get the market, So especially when you're talking about tourism, we just saw this beautiful video about, the Everest, right? But then you need connectivity. So unless until we come into a convergence mode, I think all of us sitting here play different roles. We play different leaderships. We have different experiences. And people like us who have already, went through different challenges and overcome those challenges know what is the breakdown on the ground and how can we overcome that breakdown and how we can actually also facilitate the government to see that the work that the government is trying to promote, startups, when we're talking about incubations, but these can only exist if you give, digital connectivity, which is free of cost, not through a third party. When we are making the possibility met, because at the moment, what we are challenging in our work is that while you're talking about startup and small businesses, we don't have that connectivity for the people. And we have the maximum rural population, in the Eastern Himalayan belt. How do we overcome economic upliftment? Because for us, the motto is preventing unsafe migration can only happen if economic upliftment, become possible. And in a world of digital, it's a human right. So that human right has to be met, where the costs cannot be paid by the small entrepreneur. It has to be a state responsibility. It has to be a country responsibility through partnerships.
Thank you, Hasina, for that intervention and for letting know the reality of the people that you work with and the challenges that they are facing in relation with connectivity in these areas that are the topic of discussion. The next speaker is Mr. Bhikari Charan Nayak, the Chief Technology Officer from Reliance Jio.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And yes, so now the connectivity is the challenge in the hilly terrain. So that is the subject actually. So myself, B.C. Nayak, I work for Reliance Jio for Assam Circle. So I am with the Jio with Reliance since last 22 years. I have rolled out network in a lot of states like Bihar, Jharkhand, MP, Chhattisgarh, then Assam, Northeast. So I have seen, yes, after this digitization, connectivity is more important. So the hilly terrain villagers, they should not be deprived from this digitization and this connectivity. In our forefathers, when they used to go for build a house, they used to taste the water. Now I've seen the young generation, when they are searching house for a rent or to buy a property, so they first see whether network connectivity is available or not. So you see the change of generation, because I have seen the fixed line where only we used to connect with through voice. When we were doing the engineering, we used to get the money through money order. Now, because of this digitization, everything is instant. So once your connectivity is there, you will now, once you are acquainted, you will feel helpless. So how to the hilly terrain villagers, how we should connect to them? So now lot of technology is available, and in India also, we are also developing lot of technology to connect all the hilly terrain. So recently in Assam, we have connected 3 districts, that is West Kharbhih and Kharbhih and Dima Hasu, where we have connected 332 villages by radiating 222 sites. Yes, we really found very difficult to access these villages. So with a lot of efforts by boat, by 4x4 vehicles, by head loading, and we have lifted all the tower material and electronics. Mr. Michael was telling, yes, putting up a sites is not the final solution, because you have to give the stable network. So to keep stable network, your EB is the best power source. So EB should be there. But in 222 sites, there is no EB available in the 10-15 kilometer around, in the nearby 10-15 kilometer. So we have gone with diesel generator and solar and with additional battery. So we are giving backup, at least 12 hours backup with the battery and also solar and our generator. Because you see, any natural calamities, any rain, and we are not accessible. We are not able to reach the site filling the diesel. So at least the power should be very essential. Now you have to take up with very strongly with the government, at least build a road for the hilly terrain, for the accessibility, and please support for the power for this internet connectivity. And 2-3 things I want to highlight. We have done in past 2G, 3G and 4G. Actually, Honorable Prime Minister has declared digitization, that digitization happened after the 4G technology when evolved in India. Our chairman Saab, in our Mukesh Ambani Saab, in lot of his interaction, he has told, you see, one day data will be the future of oil. Yes, you see, we are not able to survive without the telephone, without the connectivity. So the generation is changing. So we have seen in the past, during COVID time, I used to see in the photograph, I used to see in the TV, the children for their education, they have to go to climb either a tree or a hilltop to get connectivity for that study, for that their online education. So see how it is, how this connectivity is so important. So we all should focus how this hilly terrain, and they should not be deprived of this digital connectivity. So we should facilitate, and as an operator, we are also working hard how to get connected all these hilly terrain sites. So recently, there are a lot of technology has come with the microwave. Now E-band. In India also, we are buying from Ericsson, that is Sweden company. But in India also, this E-band microwave is developed in Karnataka. There also, this is used for the rural connectivity. So in India, entrepreneurs are also developing. They are also manufacturing the new solutions, how to connect with high-speed data. Because now this the person from UJS is here. So I'm taking the equipment to connect our mobile tower, because there I am getting only 8 Mbps. That 8 Mbps nowadays is not sufficient to give the connectivity. So the new mid satellite is almost we have tested recently in the Mobile Congress. Our Honorable Prime Minister has shown to all the audience. The testing was done from our Jorat ONGC center. We have connected the 4 orbit to the satellite. So with that, we are able to give 1.8 Gbps speed. So these are the new technology coming. Slowly it will be diversified, and easily we will connect all these hill stations. And madam, in the last discussion, she has told the international border earlier, when I used to visit for international border coverage check, I used to get all complaint from the BSF. Sir, we are deprived. We are not able to connect our family. But recently our Ministry of Telecommunication, they have relaxed in the international border because earlier there was a restriction. Within a 1 kilometer, you cannot make any call. So that relaxation is gone. Now that international border also, they are also not deprived to connect. And similar way, lot of government also, lot of they are working. And when our Minister Ashwini Saab, Honorable Minister, when he was here in Assam for a review, so he has called the private operator, and there he has also mentioned that every household should be connected with the internet and mobile, either with a wireline or a wireless broadband. So the work is already started, and we all are working towards that only. I think one day you must be now watching how we are progressing toward digitization, and lot of on this 5G platform also, lot of user cases we are working, how we will help the farmers on the agriculture, health and education. These are the three agenda with 5G user cases, how we will help the farmers to do the good harvesting. So all, and also in the health side also, how in the remote location we can reach to the patient. So all these things are already started and things are happening. So thank you. So this is from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Bhikari. Thank you very much. In the interest of time, because the session is running a bit late, I mean, not our session, the program is running a bit late, and I think people online for the other session are waiting. Can I ask each of the speakers for a 30 seconds wrap up in relation to the context of the conference? What is the role, in 30 seconds, I know it's too little, but please try to, what is the role that you foresee the community playing into closing the digital divide, over and beyond being a consumer of the services that some of you provide? What role do you think the community can play? Thank you. 30 seconds, please, starting by Mr. Jairam.
Thank you, Carlos. If I got your question correct, there's a lot of echo around here. It is your request is for all the panelists to sum up in 30 seconds, 1 minute, what you feel as an organization, as a community, you can contribute to improve the, I would say, the livelihood of the communities who are unconnected. I mean, I think that is the gist of the question, I believe, that you asked.
Well, and put it the other way around. What do you think the community itself that you are connecting can bring to your solution?
Okay. So I'll try to take it. In fact, I can't help myself. I'm trying, based on the feedback from Michael and my colleague from Reliance Jio. First of all, when you're talking about connecting the unconnected, I'll talk about that. You need all technologies. It is not that I am representing satellite, but you need everything, E-WAN, V-band, and whatever is coming out later, because that's precisely the reason my colleague Dharmendra did mention about the huge outlay of $16 billion, which has been allocated by Government of India to connect the 640,000 unconnected villages. Out of it, 10% has been allocated for alternate technologies. That is not small. And it includes everything, the LEO, MEO, GEO, satellite, V-band, E-band, whatever. So we need to work together. And every technology has to act as a complementary technology, and it will have its own place. Now, if I look at satellite's perspective, satellite service provider perspective, ours is a niche, I would say, service, wherein we are the only solution available where nothing is available. Now, typically, in any commercial, I would say, or a commercial space, usually you charge at a premium, right? I mean, that's how you try any niche. But we are totally opposite to that. We are really, really committed to bring down the total cost of ownership. To be frank, as Michael did mention, in India, a GB on a terrestrial on a 4G costs 10 rupees or 9 rupees. This is the lowest in the country, in the world. I mean, nobody can match that. Now, satellite has never be as cheap as a terrestrial in whatever form, today or tomorrow, whatever it brings in. although we get coming in, bringing in a lot of low-cost capacity, which will help us move further. But there are smart solutioning and smart ways to make the effective cost lower. So that's what we are working on. We are working with the regulators to make it happen, because many of this required, as mentioned by many, need government funding. You cannot expect the private enterprises or private telcos or even the community to contribute, because I mean, the contribution will come through increased GDP. When, as I'll take the case of Hasina, if those artisans of that community gets right, this thing, it can contribute to the revenue in the country, right? I mean, they grow, they pay taxes. I mean, they bring development. So that's how this has to be looked at. Second part, what the community should look at is how to be, like for example, satellite can. One of the biggest use cases across the world of satellite is community Wi-Fi. Now, Hasina just described it. She's doing it manually by bringing everyone together in one place and bringing something. So satellite can enable it, and it can be, in fact, for that, we can drop in a lot of bandwidth. Like he said, 1 Gbps. Now we're coming in with low-cost LEO also by next year, and low-cost STS, etc. You need some Wi-Fi or FTTS to distribute it further, so that everyone need not invest in the expensive terminals. They can use it in their handles. So there are many more, I would say, advancements coming in the future, but we need to put our head together to bring in how can you make it sustainable? Is there a way to bring down the cost of solar power? Like today, the battery packs are expensive. Maintenance, how do you maintain that? And once you install it, how will you sustain it over the period of time? So then I would say, I mean, I like the concept of DEF Sujanapreneurs and village level entrepreneurs. If they take the ownership in maintaining that infrastructure, that will go a long way in reducing the total cost of ownership. The technology is there. The service providers like us are there. We are bringing new and better technology capacity. But ultimately, sustenance is possible only if everyone work together. The regulator, government, service provider, and the community.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very, very important points about the technology tool set, the collaboration, the evolution of the innovations, and the need to foster that innovation to bring down the prices all across the value chain. Really, in 30 seconds, Michael, can you please wrap up? I mean, they are going to kick me out. They are all going to kick us out, all of us.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
30 seconds it'll be. So I think connectivity is no longer just about connectivity alone. It's gone way beyond that. It's about how you use connectivity. And the way community can help us is really, it goes back to increased demand. They need to help us increase the demand for connectivity. And the way to do it is to find and develop the needs that a community has for connectivity and connectivity related solutions. That's really where it lies, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for talking through those 30 seconds. Bikram, please, your experience as well.
So I think like what all the other panelists had said, I mean, if we are talking about satellite being the next reach to the unreached, then I think that needs to be multiplied with a policy in every country that works together to make the possibility happen. But at the same time, I think while we are also looking at technology for good, we also have to look at the challenge of technology, where we're talking about online safety protection for women and girls. Because at the end of the day, we also work very much on the online safety bit, the misuse of internet, as we give a huge access, comes with a very big price when it comes to sexual exploitation of women and girls that we are dealing for the last 7 years. From trafficking, which happens, like in person, now it's mostly exploitation online. So I think we have to also look at technology for good that also overcome challenges of economic, but at the same time have the protection for women and girls, that happens online. So I think that's also an important aspect of how we look at technology and connectivity.
Thank you. Mr. Bhikari?
Yes, it's digitization is happening, but equally also you have to give importance towards the digital security also. what Madam also indicated. So that is more essential. The misuse of data also to be very much restricted, and the DOT, Government of Telecommunications should work on this. And coming to a lot of, due to this fast digitization, lot of also fraud is happening, and they are, because there are a lot of people, they are becoming the culprit. And I think we have to arrest these things immediately. And as the agenda was hilly connectivity, yes, all the operator also and the Department of Telecommunication also give some subsidy to the operator, because there's putting a site on the hilly terrain because of low habitat, it is not business viable. So I think government also do some workout, and also they should think of also to build a road to first the accessibility, and also to that town should be charged with the electricity, so that we can go and put up our tower. So this is the input from my side. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going back to that initial point from Mr. Jairam on accessibility, and very important point about cybersecurity and skills around that Hasina made. I think this was a great session. Bikram, I don't know if you want to wrap up with a 30-second close-up, and then we leave it there.
Yeah, for meaningful, affordable, and sustainable internet, there are lots of technology nowadays. I can see, I started from C-band VSAT and Ka-band VSAT and Ku-band VSAT, and then coaxial cable internet, and then fiber and wireless. So there should be a very, affordable internet for everyone. In Nepal, it's still for the hillies and mountainous areas, it's very difficult to reach the terrain, and the cost of investment is higher, and to install and implement, the people, they don't want to go to that site because of the risk factors in altitude seeking. And so my last point is to, if we want a meaningful and affordable internet, so the government and private sector, business house, civil society, all multi-stakeholders should be come in front and work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I guess a similar point that came across the inaugural session on collaboration. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you found the session interesting. A lot of different points, a lot of different barriers and ways of solving them. Thank you very much, all the speakers. Thank you very much, everyone